Hi, everyone. Okay, we have some people here virtually, and then we have a bunch of people here in person. So I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. I'm Catherine, and
I'm Shelley.
yeah, and we're heart transplant recipients. And we have a speaker today. Her name is Kathleen Zavarise. She is the provincial director for the Canadian Transplant Association for Ontario. And she will be speaking today about the transplant games and the CTA and ways you can get involved in spreading awareness about organ donation and meeting new friends. Both Shelley and I have been involved in a lot of CTA events and
Dragon boating.
yeah, Drew, we've done Dragon Boat, we've done a bunch of parades, and it's really great to get to know other people in the transplant community. And yeah, because we're all connected in some way or another through, you know, certain shared experiences. So we're really happy to have you all here. In the audience here, we have some liver transplant recipients.
A new
Yeah,
lung donor recipient
yeah.
and liver donor recipient
Yeah.
or liver recipient, not liver
And you
donor.
said your husband just
Husband's in
yeah,
Yep.
1 week just
CVIC.
yeah from having a heart
For a heart.
transplant. So we just want to welcome everyone here. Okay, so we're gonna get started and we're gonna bring Kathleen on. So
All right, just a little bit. So, all right, perfect. Okay, welcome everybody online and welcome everybody here. It's great to see so many familiar faces and a lot of new faces. So I'm excited to get to know some new people, and you're going to get to know me, whether you want to or not. But yeah, so thank you for inviting me and having this very important event that like Catherine said, we're all connected. Some sort in our transplant community is very forgiving, very supportive and whatnot. So thank you for having me here to be able to talk a little bit about what is going on these days and we talk about the games, we're going to talk about events, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. So what is all right. So the Canadian Transplant Association is just simply a volunteer-led registered charity founded that supports transplants communities, including recipients, living donors, and donor families. It promotes active, healthy lifestyle through initiatives such as the Canadian Transplant Games and raises awareness about organ donation. That's the dictionary term. What it really is. So what it is basically we have a national board with president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. There's a person that's in charge of membership, and then there's a communications director. So that's the board. And then each province has its own director. And I am the director for Ontario. And I have my people. So our team is made out of myself. Sorry. I have my treasurer, and then I have my team made out of there's Catherine, who is a heart recipient, Tom is 46, well, actually 47 now, kidney recipient. Karina and Maddie are my children. And they help me with my technical things, as you can tell, a lot of the marketing and that sort of thing too. And Wayne is a donor family. Sorry, Cindy is also a donor family. Darlene is a liver transplant recipient. Mark is a liver transplant recipient from from the Ottawa area. And not on here is Jamie, who's a living donor, living kidney donor. So we have a mix of recipients, donor families that kind of, when we meet, it's nice to see from everybody's perspective, because everybody everybody brings something to the table, and can share their insight. I'm very passionate about making sure that donor families are the forefront, because without donor families, we don't have a story. None of us would be here. So that is I make sure my mission is to make sure that they're always included. In fact, I'm on another committee and I stuck my feet in to make sure that they were heard on that committee too. So that's just something I'm very passionate about. And yeah, so that makes up the people that I report to. I guess I have to, like, if I want to spend money, it's like, can I spend money on this? They never say no. So, but I have to ask. So I said, I want to get to know all of you, but I think I get some of you to know a little bit about me. I won't spend a lot of time because it's like it's preaching to the choir. We all know the importance of organ and tissue donation, but everybody brings a different experience to their journey. So, I mean, I'm, all these things. I'm a mother, a wife, friend, volunteer, advocate, survivor, and I am a liver and kidney transplant recipient. I always start off my presentation about saying, if we could all go back and tell our younger self something, what would that be? Is it, buy that stock, which I would have known about, take more risks, do that kind of thing. For me, it would be don't take little things for granted. And that's, don't take another sunrise for granted. And that's because it wasn't that long ago that I was lying in a hospital bed being told to get my affairs in order because I was going to die. The only thing that would save my life was a transplant, but the doctors didn't think I would live long enough to get that transplant. And then due to the generosity of a stranger, I received that kidney and liver transplant, and I'm going on 3 years this month. So thank you. Thank you. I was on dialysis 5 times a week. So when I heard the doctor say those words, get your affairs in order, is what they said, get your affairs in order. I heard those words and I thought, oh, there's so many things that I still needed and wanted to do. I wanted to watch my children graduate university, step into their careers, all that thing. And my husband, who was my high school sweetheart, and I had just made a plan of all the things we wanted to do and travel because he had just retired and I was about to follow shortly thereafter. But with one sentence, all of those words were completely shattered. As people in this room can attest to, we all have similar sort of, dreams that we knew we wanted to do and whatnot. So I was on dialysis 5 times a week, 4 hours a day. So unfortunately, that was the only traveling my husband and I did, was back and forth to dialysis and medical appointments. But now I'm grateful to say that once I got the okay to drive again, because you have to wait sort of things. And once I got that okay, I've been looking in my rearview mirror ever since and never stopped. So it's funny because when I call for my oil change, because the emojis come on my car saying it's time for your, oil change and whatever. They're like, no, you were just here. I'm like, I know it is. I am due. But I've been able to travel, do some pretty cool things. We've been to Nashville, Boston. Girls and I went to Banff, I've been to Vancouver, been some skydiving, zip lining, all that kind of stuff. So never taking another day for granted and just checking off those bucket list items, right? And that's given me the opportunity to, step into this role too. So I am grateful for being able to do all of that. I wear several hats, do other, organizations and stuff, whatever. But I just, like many of you, like to give back. And that's how I say thank you, is by paying it forward and giving back. And I've been able to enjoy a lot of things. All right. So that's enough about me. All right. So this is what we are excited about. The next Canadian Transplant Games is going to be held in Sherbrooke, Quebec, from July 5th to the 11th. So this is one of the things that the Canadian Transplant Association does. We're very adamant about making sure that we can show the world that we can live a very healthy, active lifestyle, and also show that organ donation works. Because one of the myths out there, several, but one of them is like, oh, it doesn't work, they're still sick, they're whatever. Well, we can show that we can live a very active lifestyle, and we can kick butt doing it because we win medals and we do that sort of thing. That's kind of like Dragon Boat. Same sort of thing. The idea there is to show that we can live a healthy lifestyle. And I used to say it's not about the medals, it's about just showing that, we can, participate, and we can honor our donors by being able to live a healthy, active lifestyle. But I lied once we won a medal, I was like, yeah, it's about the medals. Right. So it's a little bit about both. But the Canadian Transplant Games, it is an amazing sense of community. Where else, well, except for here probably, but where else can you walk into a room of hundreds of people from different provinces and basically like identify yourself as, what organ did you get? You walk in and you're like liver, kidney, heart, whatever. Like, so there's no other room that you can walk in and identify yourself by a body part or by the amount of steroids you're on. Okay. Most Olympics and games and whatever, steroids are not permitted, but actually they're mandatory. They're mandatory here. So people will actually be pulling out their pill bottles and comparing dosages and whatnot. So there is no other event that is allowed or permitted, but it's actually encouraged. But it is a great sense of, a great sense of community. We went to the games in Ottawa. Well, I was going to say, you know what, there is going to be like prizes later, so make sure you're paying attention because. So we went to the one in Ottawa last year. So Canada has every 2 years. So Ottawa was 2 years ago. Quebec is this year, and then in 2 years will be another Canadian Games, and so on and so on. Ironically, the first official, there was one before that, but wasn't official. The first official Canadian Transplant Games was in Sherbrooke. So we're going back to our roots and going back full circle. So everybody's very excited about that. So every 2 years they're in Canada, and in between that, they're the World Games. So the last World Games were just in Germany last year. Then the next World Games will be in Belgium. And then you didn't hear this from me, but the next World Games might be in Vancouver. Right? Right. We'll know at the end of the month. I'm not really saying anything I shouldn't be because they said it at the AGM meeting last week. So there's the bid in for that. And it's between us and a couple other countries. And so we're hoping that it will be us. So that would be awesome. But so the Canadian Transplant Games are every 2 years. Last year, we had the privilege of attending in Ottawa. That was my first time because I only had my transplant 3 years ago. So I didn't even know this existed or anything like that until my friend Larry, rest his soul, told me about it. And I've been, excited ever since. So it is, like I said, a part of walking in and identifying yourself about body parts and steroid use. It is a huge sense of community. We made a point to make sure that every day we had breakfast with somebody different because you tend to gravitate to your people or whatever. But we made sure we had every meal with somebody different just to be able to talk to people and whatever. And you become lifelong friends, right? So in fact, we met a gentleman from Australia who actually came to stay with us. Yeah. Met him at the game sort of thing too. So I highly recommend if you can go or want to go. Participation is, so you participate in your age range. So if you're hypothetically 57, you would compete between people that are 50 and 59. So, and in your age group. So some it's women then in that age group, some it's men in that age group, some are mixed, but it's always within your age group. And your donor families are competing against donor families and supporters, recipients are competing against recipients. So it is open to donor families, recipients, supporters, that type of thing. So the activities that are available, there's cycling, there's swimming, there's some track and fields, there's pickleball, tennis, badminton, bowling. Yeah, bowling. Oh yeah, petang. Yeah. Darts. Cycling, did I say that? There's a couple different cycling races and whatnot, swimming. Yeah. So there's quite a range of things that you can participate in. And it's a lot of fun. The last time we went, I didn't even compete in my last activity that I was registered for because I wanted to go cheer on my friends at Petang or whatever. So that's just, for me, it was a sense of community and getting to know people. So highly recommend it this year in Sherbrooke. And they will be having, we always have there's a family picnic that they have. And all your meals are included. So your registration would be including your accommodations, unless you know somebody in Quebec and you don't want to. But it's cool to stay in the residence with everybody. So it will include your residence. It includes your entrance fee for your activities, your residence, and all of your meals except for one day. You're free to do what you want. So your meal would be your responsibility there. But otherwise, everything is included in that price other than your transportation. I did have a couple bursaries that I have since ended, but the Canadian Transplant Association will be posting about some more bursaries that you can apply for that will be on their website. And donor families. Donor families are recognized throughout the entire event. We have a donor walk. So in Ottawa, we made signs. It might be on there, might not be. This is a board of different events of pictures and stuff that have taken place over the last little while. And so we all made signs, based on what you wanted to say to honor your donor. This year in Quebec, it'll be a 2-kilometer walk. It'll start somewhere in French that I can't pronounce, but then it will end at this park where they actually have a memorial. I'm not gonna, one second. I wanna do it justice. There is a site at the Jacob Nickel Park, and it is located in a bunch of intersections that I can't say in French. But the purpose of this site is, this is where the donor walk will end. So we'll walk 2 kilometers, probably, like, I think it's through the community, because we want to raise awareness. We want people to see us. Walking in a park isn't, we want exposure. So it will start throughout the community and end at this park. And this is actually a place that is designated for, it's like a memorial for donor families. So the site serves as a place of reflection and gratitude, featuring a central monument surrounded by commemorative plaques that bear the name of donors. The donors are awarded the title of Health Ambassador. So there is a designated site in this park that is designated for organ donors, and that's where the parade will end. I think that will be very emotional, so I'm going to say, if you come, bring your tissues. I know I will. And so when we did the donor walk in Ottawa, again, very touching and a great way, again, to pay tribute, because as we say, without donors and their families, none of us would be there at those games or here at all, right? So it's a very great way to be able to pay tribute to them. So does anybody have any questions about the games before I go on? Shelley?
If you drive, do you have to pay for parking?
So well, I'm only gonna speak from Ottawa because I haven't been told anything different. Last year there was you did have to pay for parking. However, there was a very reduced rate. It was minimal.
Okay.
Right.
Can you register for more than one event?
You can register for a maximum of 5 events, but you can't you have to make sure that they're, unless, except for track, you can't register for more than one on one day. So you look at if you look at the schedule, which I do have here, but that doesn't help you. It's on my phone. If you do look on the registration site, there's a on my page, and I'll repost it so that it's up there, because there's a couple posts that have been kind of like blowing up, so it's kind of been blowing up the page, but in a good way. Anyway, so I will repost the current things. There is one there before the registration started, saying, like, it was kind of like, gave you because you have to be a member. That's the thing too. You have to be a member of the CTA. Membership is free. But you do have to be a member. It will give you, when you register to be a number, or when you register to be a member, it will give you a number. Keep that number, because you're going to need to input that in your registration form. So you have to be a member, and then there is a page that goes on and tells you the list of activities and what day they're on. So help you pick, because you can't pick more than one unless you're doing track and field. So if you're doing shot put and javelin, you can do that on the same day. But if you're doing swimming and cycling, I don't know if they're on the same day, but you can't do, I think, because I was looking at, maybe I'll do cycling. Cycling and bowling are on the same day. I'm like, I'll probably do much better at bowling. So you can't do that, but you can pick up to a maximum of 5.
No, one more question.
Yeah.
Pickleball, it's a double spot. So can you register as a single person, or do you have to bring a partner?
Yeah, you register. So last year I registered as a single person, then I was partnered up with somebody, and giving, if there is enough interest, they're going to do a pickleball and a tennis clinic beforehand. So if anybody wants to brush up or, learn the sport. I did it in Ottawa a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, I should probably know what that's about. So then I took some lessons and whatever. But they will also be doing a clinic there. But if you have the opportunity to try it, in your local community or whatever, a little bit beforehand, that's not a bad idea. But they will pair you up. Yeah, they paired me up last year, and yeah, a lot of fun. Paul.
You didn't list any
Track, yes, sorry, there is track. So I know there's for sure, there's a 5K. I have it on my phone, right? There's a 5K, but I'm gonna read it because I'm not gonna try and remember.
There's a 3K walk too.
Okay, so let's go in order. So the first day you're gonna get there, you're gonna arrive. You're gonna get there and you're gonna get your shirts, you're gonna get your swag, you're gonna get your name tag and that kind of thing. first day is just kind of registering and unpacking, and there'll be like a social event sort of thing. The games will start the next day. So there's cycling, there's golf, badminton, pickleball. Then there is the next day there's a 20-kilometer cycling. And then the afternoon there's an optional tour of Sherbrooke, Quebec. They've arranged different tours, different museums, if that's your thing, different things. And then there's another one just like throughout the tour. I don't know if you've looked, everybody's been to Sherbrooke or anybody, but it was on the Amazing Race, a couple like Amazing Race Canada season, yeah, 6-ish, I don't know. Anyway, so they showed the city and stuff. Looks beautiful. I can't wait to just walk around and see the city. And probably go back to that monument just by myself. So there's the optional tours there. And then that's the same day that dinner's on your own. So it sounds like you have that whole day to explore Sherbrooke, and then you have your dinner on your own. Then the next day,
Go to walk the restaurants?
how close is the residence?
No, like from the residence, is there places in there that you can get your food, or do you have to go off?
So all the food will be provided at
Okay.
residence, right? Or the family picnic or whatever. If it's off-site, they will bus you. And same with all the activities for those that aren't driving. They will be buses that will drive you to all of the events. You don't have to worry about getting yourself there.
Now, if you're driving, because I know it takes a while to get there, you personally, would you leave 2 days before or like the day before, or? Because it's like. 10
Yes.
hours from my house.
Yeah. I'm going a little bit early because
Volunteering.
I'm gonna like
Oh.
tour around and
Okay.
I'm gonna meet a friend there and whatever. So I'm leaving several days before, but if I wasn't doing that,
In 1 day?
I personally probably could, but I probably wouldn't. I probably would stop.
days?
I probably would stop and then continue on, just because that's just what I would do. But everybody has their own,
Yeah.
because I think it's like 8 hours, right?
Yeah, I was looking at this money from my house, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So unless you're going with somebody, you want to split up the driving, that's an option too. But if I wasn't meeting somebody, I probably would go for the first day. There's a place that I like to go that has a spa and whatever, so I probably would go there. I probably would go there only because I want to do that and then continue on, but yeah. I see a question over here, yeah.
Yeah, that's residence there?
I'm gonna put that in the parking lot and I will get back to you on that. I don't know the answer to that. Is it a service animal or is it just no? Yeah, I will get back to you and I will either get your contact information directly or I will communicate through Catherine, but I'll ask that, yeah.
Right, thanks.
Awesome, thank you. Can you put that in a parking lot thing? Thank you.
Is it a residence, shared accommodations, or is it single?
So it is, you have, each accommodation has will house 2 people, but you have your own room. So it's like, so I can visualize it because residence, whatever, and then one in Ottawa too. So you walk in, a little shared kitchen, and then each person would have their own room and bathroom if it's like Ottawa. So that would be, you have and locked door, sort of that type of thing. And you can, when you register, you can ask to room with somebody. One of the questions is, who do you want to room with? And you can select somebody. So the 2 of you are going and you want a room together, then you would put her name and she would put your name and then they would put you together. And if you don't put anybody's name, then they'll just put you with somebody, but it's a great way to meet new people, right? And everybody's there shouldn't be horrible if you're rooming with somebody you don't know. Yes.
You're on, so you just find out, I guess.
Sorry.
Oh.
Maybe there's something wrong because it's not. It's
Record.
a loose connection here.
Everybody always asks me, are you nervous about talking in front of people? Because sometimes I'll talk in front of hundreds and hundreds of people and I'm like, absolutely not. It's the technology that scares the bejeebers out of me. Yes, yes.
No, I said Catherine. The prices? Did you say that? Sorry.
No, so if you go online to register, I'm gonna say the early bird ends April something. I'm gonna say, don't quote me. So do it. If you're gonna do it, just do it, right? Because
Question. What happens if
it's about 750 is the early bird, I want to say.
you get sick? You lose all your money, do you get half of it back? Like, I don't know.
That's something that, you know what, that's above my pay grade. That is a national, that is a national question. I can't answer.
It's happened.
I'm sure it has. But I don't want, yeah, that's a national. I mean, if you want to email them and before you do anything, that's something that you can do, but again, above my pay grade. I don't want to answer to that because it's them that makes a decision, not me, right? I'm just the messenger.
You still
Yes.
need medical approval?
So you have to be 1 year, like 1 year transplant out. And there is a question there that says that you have checked with, it's, the onus is on you. So there is a question there, and it's, I guess, for like liability purposes, that you are declaring that, yes, you have talked over this with your medical team and you have the okay. So,
For the heart transplant patients, you're gonna have to do a stress test if you haven't done. Most of us have, but.
No, I did one in January.
yeah, so I would suggest talking, I would suggest talking to your team your next appointment, or making an appointment whenever it is, and just saying, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Do I have the green light? And then they'll tell you what you need to do to get that green light. Because we don't want anything happening to anybody there. That's the opposite of that's the opposite of our goal, right?
And when you talk about the medals, can you talk to the team, to the group about skill level or arguably lack thereof?
We encourage all skill levels because, like I said, you're only competing within your age group. So I'm going to tell you a little secret. I won a gold medal for table tennis. I sucked, but I won a gold medal because I was the only one in my age group. So yeah, but the other medals and stuff I won, legitimately. I had competition, but that's just what I'm saying. So I actually gave that medal to a donor family that their son, Jonathan, was a donor. He died tragically in an accident, and table tennis was his sport, and they're there every year. I don't know if you guys know Heather and Heather Talbot. You will if you come. She's lovely. And so their son passed and was an organ donor. And so he was very big into table tennis. So they're there every year at the table tennis event running that. So I gave her and that's the thing. A lot of people give their medals to donor families. They've got one every year, and she just happened to mention in passing that she didn't get one that year. And I'm like, not on my watch. So when I saw her next, I gave her my table tennis medal. She doesn't know I sucked getting it, but it's the same thing, right? It's the whole thing. And I gave one of my other gold medals that I won legitimately to my transplant coordinator, because without her, I wouldn't have been able to go there, because she really supported me and made it all happen. So I gave her my other gold medal because to me, she was the real winner. So, yes.
Is there an age cutoff?
No. Again, up to medical thing, right? So if you're 99, chances are there's not a lot of people in your category from 90 to 99. So you're gonna kick ass. Sorry. You're gonna, yeah. Yeah. So, and people that have all skill levels, there are some there that are, very competitive. Yep. But there's others there that, like I said, there are people there at pickleball that never picked up a paddle before. And there's other people that, have been playing competitively. So you're going to get all levels.
Do you do an closing ceremony?
So yeah, so opening ceremony is great. All the athletes are, kind of in the front, and we have different ceremonies and stuff. And then the end, the last night is the gala. So it's a nice dinner, nice place. You can dress fancy if you want. You don't have to. It was like some people were like super fancy, and other people were like not, right? So it's entirely up to you, but it's a nice dinner. There's some awards, there's some recognition that goes on. And that's the final night. And then you head out the next day with lasting memories and friendships, and probably some bling.
Is there a photographer then that takes pictures of everybody, or you just take your own?
Yeah, so not sure if it's CBS this year, but because it's in Quebec and Canadian Blood Services has a different affiliation, they have their own thing. So I don't know how many Canadian Blood Services people are going, but last year Canadian Blood Services did all the media. So if it's not them again this year, it will be somebody that will be doing pictures and videos. They'll probably do some interviews, that sort of thing. And then everybody just kind of takes pictures and then posts them. There's like a Facebook group. There's a Facebook group for the Canadian, like the Sherbrooke games. People will just post them there and then you can go grab them whenever. But people are always taking pictures. There's never a lack of photography, that's for sure.
Also, if you go there and are you allowed to bring food into your room? Like,
Yeah.
do you bring your own snacks and stuff?
You can if you so choose. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a little dorm room. Yeah.
Michelle, there is cancellation policy on the website.
Is there? Okay, thanks.
Up to when?
Up to June 1st.
Oh, so that's.
So
Okay.
all cancellation for whatever reason, maybe made between May 2nd and May 29th will receive up to a 40% refund. Cancellations made before May 1st will be 90%.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
After June 1st,
I'm screwed.
yeah.
Don't
get sick. Don't get sick.
All right. Any other questions about the games before I move on to anything else?
Thank you, that was very good.
So I'm going to see everybody there, right?
Yes,
Anybody between the ages of 50 and 59?
no, I'm over.
Is anybody planning on going here or?
I am.
I'm going.
I am.
Maybe, I don't.
And you know what? If you don't want to go to play, you can come to support, right? Like you can be a volunteer. We need 150 volunteers. So, and it's very, I mean, yes, and your parking is included.
Oh.
Oh, there you
Oh.
go. Come along here.
It's really easy
You
to
don't
volunteer.
know this, but
Yeah.
is the
Oh, okay.
university like kind of like right in Sherbrooke or is
Yes.
it on the outskirts?
I believe it's right in, I believe it's right.
Hopefully take the VIA train to Montreal and then I was looking, there's a bus that you can
Okay,
take.
so when you register, there's a place that asks you, how are you getting there? Land, sea, air, whatever, right? So if you say train, then they will have somebody, so people are going to be designated to be picking people up at the airport and or train station.
Yeah,
So yeah, so I would
that's nice to know.
indicate that that's how you are arriving.
Okay.
And then, yeah, and then you can, I want to drive because I want my car to move around. Yes.
Can you both volunteer and participate?
Yes. Yeah. So that's what I plan on doing on the days that I'm not
Yeah.
playing or whatever. I plan then also on volunteering. This is also a great way to meet people and participate and yes.
Trillium giving any bursaries?
Trillium? No. I mean, no. Forgot it was being recorded. I forgot I was recording.
I did too.
Yeah.
We'll cut it.
Trillium is not, however, Canadian Transplant Association will be posting some bursary opportunities in the near future.
How do they judge? Do you know how they judge by the bursaries? Or is it just like?
For the Canadian Transplant Association ones, you apply and then I guess the board decides. For mine, so for the ones that I did for Ontario, I had a lot of friends that applied. So yeah, so it was not fair for me to partake in the selection process. So the person or persons that donated money for the bursary. So there was a young gentleman that I met and he was waiting for kidney and liver transplant. Unfortunately, he did not get that transplant, but his parents have been very involved in raising awareness and very involved, and they gave us some money towards the Canadian Transplant Association, as did his father is a retired OHL referee, so did the OHL and a lot of their family and friends. So that is the funds that we're using for the bursaries for this year, and then we'll continue on years to come. So so it's going to be his parents that are going to select the winner. I just gave them the information with initials and they don't know, so they can't go like looking up people. I just wanted it to be very, transparent and whatnot. So they're going to be selecting the winners and that will be announced shortly. I thought that was the fairest way. It's their money. It's a legacy of their son. So that they're going to choose the winner. Yes.
The other bursaries that you were talking about, how does it work? You register first and then at the bursary you get refund? Is that?
Yeah, because you have to pay, right? When you go to register, you have to pay. So then the bursary will be, and just keep in mind that you will get a T4. So 500 of that is exempt, but 500 of it is possibly taxable income, depending on everybody's situation. So you will get a T4 for the bursary amount, but a lot of people do GoFundMe's too, to help pay for the expenses. That's very popular. I can't share them on the CTA page. We can't talk about, raising money for people, individually, but you can share them on your own page. But a lot of people do have GoFundMe's or will do fundraisers, bake sales, craft sales, whatever they want to do to be able to afford raffles. I've seen like raffles go on, so there's things that you can do out there to be able to help with the cost. Okay,
Since you're traveling over the province, check with your insurance company, and have the insurance. Just so you.
Yeah.
Well,
I know I went to Newfoundland. Yeah,
that's the other speaker.
That's the next speaker.
It is.
yeah,
yeah,
It is.
yeah. No, but that is something to look at.
yeah. I believe you are covered,
Yeah.
but it's always good to ask for people whose pay grade that is, to ask who that is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe Quebec does. I think they do have different rules.
Yeah, probably, but yeah,
Yeah, they do.
yeah,
Yeah,
good
they
point.
do. I think they do.
Everybody's gonna call their insurance company when we leave, or wait to this next speaker. Okay, is there any other questions about the games? I can't wait to see all of you there. It really is, an amazing sense of community. I can't stress that enough. It's a lot of fun. And I suggest doing what we did, is sitting with somebody different every time and getting to know people. So we sat with people from different provinces. There's some people that are international that will be there, and they compete differently. So the international people are competing against the international people. So they're not competing against the Canadians. So they have their own category. So there's some people that are going to be there from Australia. There's some people that will be there from the States. There was a guy from Colombia last year. They compete against each other. They're not competing against us. Okay.
Yeah, just a quick question related to that. Are the Canadian Transplant Games somehow connected with the World Transplant Games? Or are they two separate?
They're two separate completely. But Canada does often send a team. They just sent a team to Germany last year. So Canada will often send a team to the Worlds. But they are different committees, different entities completely. Yeah.
But the people participating in the World Games, like, do you first attend the Canadian Transplant Games? If you have to qualify sometime?
No.
Or-
You don't have to, but I will say the World Games are much more competitive than our
Yeah.
games. So I would suggest, if you want to go to a World Game, do a Canadian one first, because then you kind of get the idea of the flow, the structure. And then definitely check out a World's Game, but they are much more competitive. They have teams there that they are like in the gym for, 5 days a week, and they're training, and this is their like thing, whatever, right? I learned pickleball 5 days before I had to go on so it's yeah, I would suggest doing a Canadian and then definitely checking out a World.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But then the international athletes, like, coming to Canada, like, how are they finding out about it?
Just, basically through social media, they've been able to find out about them, and then, yeah, they're able to come, and I said they have their own category. They don't compete against the Canadians that are there. Was there a question back there, or was it stretch? Okay. All right, we're good?
One last comment.
Yeah.
The games. Similar, but absolutely, to Kathleen's point, far more intense, where the cyclists have
Yeah.
$4,000, $5,000 bikes and
Yeah.
get ups and stuff like that, but everybody's skill level as well.
Yeah.
And I guess with both events, it's about promoting that organ donation is not some sort of experiment. It's more about we can live our life, test our limits, like Dr. Ross tells us to, right? So it's a lot more about that, and then the donor ceremonies that Kathleen talks about. Those are pretty special.
Yeah.
Bring your tissues.
Has anyone been to either the World Games or?
I've been to both.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know that. And we have one of our members, Jeanette.
Okay.
She won a couple gold medals.
Yeah.
In swimming.
And swimming.
So I did the 5 skating world,
Mhm.
2 years after the transplant, and I finished last. I continue to do so.
You finished.
That wasn't the special. The part was, there was a gentleman from Puerto Rico, and we ended up being about the same pace. And he was also a heart transplant recipient, this like a couple of months apart. So we were jogging and talking, walking and talking. It wasn't even that, right? And then what was really special was, I'm not even paying attention to the time or anything like that, but towards the end of it, somebody gave him a Puerto Rico flag. And then I think it was Mark Black or something like that. Somebody gave me a Canadian flag. So we're both running with our flags across the thing. And that was the, and we were last, so.
That's what I'm talking about. It's a sense of, it's the sense of community.
Okay, so there wasn't like qualifying time, right?
I literally
Yeah.
was just practice. So I will tell you this, I did do cardiac rehab just before it, I was doing it. And the physiotherapist, the cardio physiotherapist, Rob, who's spoken to us before, I talked to him about, this is what I want to do, and he kind of helped me with that training. So I would tell you, you should, because it was in the middle of July, hot, humid.
Yeah.
So that's the other aspect to it, right? This is in July, it might be hot and humid, you just gotta be cognizant of your heart rate, heart rate monitor if you can, just so that you're not pushing yourself too hard.
Yeah.
That's where the stress test is.
Yeah, exactly, because like, well, at least for a lot of the cardiac patients, like, it's been maybe other transplant recipients too, like, it's been a long time since we've really done exercise, and I find, doing the cardiac rehab is one thing, but once you're done the cardiac rehab, like, it's kind of in like that stage of, hey, like, now how do I train, but I'm still like, not, I still can't keep up with like people who've actually been training for years, so,
I know the feeling.
yeah.
It's ultimately, it's about just keeping our fitness up and exercising.
Yeah.
The competition stuff after is nice to have, I guess, nice to be there. I would take that, like, so what I was doing because I was doing the 5K, I would, on a treadmill or when I went outside, I would write down, how long did I walk or run? What was the time? And what was my heart rate pre and post? That was key, just like we did move, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're lucky enough to have one of these watches that has the heart rate monitor, you can see what the peak is there. And then just slowly and gradually progress from that, just push yourself a little bit more.
Yeah, the competitive level.
I don't, the more the better.
Of course.
So if you are thinking about starting to do this, I would say yes, start now and talk to your doctor, and just like Kathleen said, get any testing done and start your, so you don't injure yourself. That's the other part.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I also think maybe what Kathleen was referring to is like the Boston Marathon, you have to qualify to even walk in the door.
It's like, yeah, certain time, well, I didn't
Yeah.
know whether there's a limited number of people that they can take for the world.
you just,
No,
Or
you just sign up. You sign up and throw them your money. You're good to go.
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
you sign up, and it was, they had little kids, transplant
Yeah.
all the way to
Yeah.
senior or ultra senior, I forget the names they used to use, right? So it's a special moment when you're sitting there with the transplant recipients, with 10 or 12 or something like that, right? And doing activities with you or whatever it may be, so.
Sorry, I think you did have a question, yeah?
The thing then, in a pool.
Yeah.
not open water.
Correct. Yes, yeah, they're all in the pool with the lines and all that. Yeah, yeah. And most of them a lot of them are in the university complex. Other ones are very close, but transportation is included to those events, so not to worry about that. Okay, all right. And yeah, just to reiterate, it's, I mean, your competitive level is as competitive as you want to be, right? So you just want to make sure you're healthy when you're doing it, but the competitive part, and I'm going to expose you, sorry, Maddie, but so, well, there's you say, I think you say it on one of the videos too. But there was times whatever that I would be competing in an event and Maddie had made connections and friends and she was actually cheering for them and they were against me. Because you just tend to, make those connections and everything, right? So that's par for the course, right? You make those connections that we still have today, right? One guy, as I said, one guy flew around the world to see us, but yeah. Okay, all right, good. All right, and I'm gonna leave my email address and everything at the end. So if anybody wants a question that they think of later, because if you're like me, you leave and go, oh, I was gonna ask that and I didn't, so. There we go.
There you go.
So this is the Ottawa Games. We're 13 heart recipients. These are 13 heart recipients that competed. So. Yeah. And that's what they call themselves, change of heart. Yeah, so people probably recognize people. So yeah, so 13 of them were there at the Ottawa game. So. All right, upcoming events. So the games are the games, but we also do have a lot of other things coming up. This is only the things that would fit on the list. All right, so the first thing is the St. Patrick's Day Parade next Sunday. So we want weather like today for that. Okay, nice and warm. And so we have donor families, we have recipients, we have everybody kind of coming along. And I was like, okay, well, so we did the Santa Claus parade, and I want everybody to have a chance to look at the pictures over here. Thank you, Catherine, for making the board. And everybody take a look at the pictures. We did the Santa Claus parade for a couple years now. And if you can join us, it's great. What happens is as we're walking through, and we have signs saying heart recipient, liver and kidney recipient, that type of thing. And people cry, people applaud, people like, I'm registered. And we're like, great, talk to your family as we're like, walking type of thing. So the response for the most part, I mean, there was one person who may have had a comment. One guy, all right, not gonna lie, at the Ottawa, no, that's it. Hamilton parade was like, I got a kidney, and lifted up his shirt and showed us. So I was like, and he's like, so he was like, I might come. I'm like, great, but clothing is not optional. But yeah, so, and then people like would, run up. There was a lady that used to work for Trillium. She followed us to the end of the the end of the route and came up and said, thank you for doing this, that type of thing. So it's different in the parade. People that aren't expecting that. And so we're excited to be doing the St. Patrick's Day one, because we're going to have even a bigger audience and a bigger, captive audience, right? So.
I think the St. Patrick's Day parade is the first one since COVID, so I feel there's going to be coverage.
Yeah, yeah, good, yeah.
And wait, where are we meeting again?
My daughter asked me this.
I'll know. The last email I said was, we'll give you the exact details on March 12th. That's completely against my
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
A-type personality. It's like, no, I need to know now. So as soon as I know, I will let you know. I just asked everybody to email me so I can have kind of like an email list of everybody who's interested. So then I'll email the details if anybody wants to come. We have people we have banners, we have signs. We're making posters with donors pictures on them to be able to honor them. Because I think I've said I'm about honoring the donors and their families, because that's key. And yeah, so we're going to have posters with their pictures as well, posters with, information about how to register, the impact that it has, people handing out treats. We have some lollipops, and we have some amazing little shamrocks that Rita made. So it's going to be a great time. So I highly encourage anybody who wants to come. Or if again, yes.
Where, I just took a picture of
Yeah.
of that, but is this somewhere on the CTA webpage?
So it will be, and at the end, I do have the Facebook, whatever, but if you aren't, you should be all following the Canadian Transplant Association Ontario Facebook and Instagram page. That is where everything will be there. And then there's a little tab that says events, and they have, I'll have the events there, but I'll also be posting. Things do get lost because there is a lot of activity on the page, especially right now. And things, in April, things will be like the page will just blow up. So I'll make sure that I create events. I'm also going to give you my email address. So if you're like, hey, I was wondering, I saw something about what's going on, whatever, right? Okay. The other thing is so one of the hats I wear is Canadian Blood Services. I'm a volunteer ambassador. I don't know what I am, but anyway, a guest speaker. So they asked us to collaborate on a bingo night. So that's happening at the Vaughan Center. So there will be transplant people there, Canadian Blood Services, and we're kind of having a bingo, kind of mingle, saying about the impact that blood has on us. Anybody who wants to, obviously not recipients, but family members, supporters who want to learn more about donating, they can do that. So that's coming on March 25th at the Vaughan Center. That will be a lot of fun. Niagara, so April's crazy. So right now we have confirmed the Niagara Falls lighting on April 7th at 10 p.m. I'm hoping we'll have a good turnout to be able to meet at the falls and like another sense of community. So that's April 7th, and then we'll do it again on the 19th. Is it the 19th?
Yeah.
Is that the Monday?
It says in the.
Doesn't mean it's right.
Um,
The Sunday, is that the Sunday? For the beginning of National Organ and Tissue Donation Awareness Week, we always do it again. Okay. Yay, perfect. So we always do it again to kick off. Okay, perfect. So we do always do it again to kick off the beginning of National Organ and Tissue Donation Awareness Week. Again, just bringing awareness and people are like, why is the falls green? And there you go. We have ongoing a mental health and wellness webinar. We've had 2 so far. The last one was yesterday on on caregivers and their support and what they need, and basically can't pour from a broken cup. So take care of yourself, and some resources and some exercises and validation. Yes.
Is that something I can watch? Like, is that recorded?
Yes. Yes. So the link will be on our YouTube page, which I will make sure you get the link before we leave. Okay. But yeah, all of the episodes, you can watch them live. They're every other Friday. But if you miss them, then they will be on our YouTube page, as I understand this will be as well on our YouTube page. And there's if you want to check out the parade, there's a parade on there. There's a couple other videos. We did a Heart of the Matter. We did a presentation in October last year, talking about mandatory anatomy. So how now in Ontario, you cannot, even if both parties want to meet, the donor family and the recipients want to meet, it's a no-no, but it's a yes in other provinces. So there's a gentleman by the name of Nick Murphy. Okay. Yeah. A gentleman by the name of Nick Murphy who is looking into changing that in Ontario. So we had him come in and speak, and then another donor family. That is also on our website. So looking at seeing, if changes can be made, how our voices can help, because one person's not going to change policy or legislation. So you can check that out too. But the wellness webinars are going on now. Last year I did a contest for the month of April where people just raised awareness however they wanted to, posted it on our page, and then there was prizes at the end. So there'll be weekly prizes, and then there will be a prize at the end of the month. It's basically doing what we do anyway, but this way it just kind of ramps it up a little bit, and now more people are seeing it and they're sharing it, and it's just exposure, and it's fun. I mean, we're spreading awareness in April anyway, so it's just kind of a fun way to keep that going, and you can win some loot. I have a transplant nutritional education webinar. So I'd sent out a survey about what people would like to see at the CTA. And this is the health and wellness was one. And that's something that I knew just talking to people and on other committees that Rita and I sit on. It's something that doesn't exist. And once, I don't know about you, but at my last appointment, I went in and they're like, oh, great, your numbers are great. And there's a blue zone and a red zone, and you're in the blue zone, so you're good. Like that was 3 milliseconds. And I was like, I literally had to block the door. And I'm like, can we circle back to things that the nurse asked me to talk to you about? Because whatever. So nobody ever asked me how I am, how am I coping? How am I, whatever, right? So this seminar is not going to, it doesn't replace, therapy or treatment, but it gives resources and it gives a safe space to be able to talk about things. And it kind of validates, like some of the comments after the last 2, I was like, oh, it's not just me, sort of thing. So that was one of the things that came out of the survey and my kind of dealing with people. The other one was a nutritional educational webinar. So I don't know about you, but again, with me, while I was transplant, I had nutritionists at my yin yang. But after the fact, I have not seen, heard, talked, or even passed one in the hall the other day. I'm like, oh, I remember you, and nothing, right? So we have a webinar coming up about that, and we're just working out a date. That will be May, because I figured with these webinars going on, and then April, May would probably be a good time to talk about that. She'll give tips, recipes. She'll do stuff in her kitchen and whatever. So that'll be a lot of fun. Second annual Larry Graham bowling tournament. Last year we had the first one. That's why it's second. And that will be in September. It is in the Cambridge area. And Larry Graham is a double lung transplant recipient who unfortunately passed recently. And he was the one who told me about the games, and he was a very big advocate. He came out to events that I did when nobody else would. And before I met Catherine, this is pre-Catherine. I mean, I have Catherine now, so I'm like, Catherine, she's like, I'm on it. But and Shelley, like, this is all pre them. But Larry was very dedicated to the games, and so we have the lawn bowling in his name. Again, a lot of new people came out that we never met, great sense of community and a lot of fun. And you can, yeah, and you can be really bad and still have fun. So it's good.
It was our first time.
Yeah.
We won my second.
Exactly. See?
It's fun.
Proof is in the pudding. The Guelph Storm baseball team, we're going to be doing a organ donation awareness dedication game there. Date to be determined because we're playing email tag. She's it. And so once we have that date, it will be posted again. So we'll have, I would like to have as much green shirts in the stands as we can. So if you know anybody in the Guelph area or you want to make the trip, that would be great. As many green shirts in the stands as possible. We'll have a table there set up with information. People can register to be an organ donor if they so choose, or get information to make that decision based on talking to us and answering questions and giving them more information, sort of thing. Toronto 5K Marathon is October 17th. You don't have to run it. We usually walk it. It's a lot of fun. It is a major fundraiser for the Canadian Transplant Association. So to be able to pay for these webinars and the different things that we provide. And so it is our major fundraiser. So even if you can't attend, maybe you can sponsor somebody that is attending. We do the 5K walk. Some people run it, good for them. But we walk it. And it's like, somebody chasing you, are you okay? But it's a lot of fun, and they've been doing it for years. I've just kind of hopped on the bandwagon. The Dragon Boat team does a lot of they promote that one quite a bit. So there's 2 Dragon Boat teams that are supported in part by the CTA. That is the Toronto team Transplant Toronto Dragon Boat team. They practice in Mississauga. Regatta's in Toronto, and then there's a Cambridge team, practices in Kitchener, regatta's in London. So if anybody is interested in probably the Toronto one, let me know. We're still looking for paddlers, and it's a lot of fun. And then every year they have the virtual trot. So every province competes, and you can walk, bike, that sort of thing, and you track your steps or kilometers, sort of thing. Ontario always comes second. So I am recruiting each and every one of you because I am not, because they have bikes, right? So people on bikes get a lot more kilometers than us little walkers. So I'm recruiting every single one of you to sign up and get moving, because I'm not a competitive person. Okay, I'm a competitive person. I want to beat Newfoundland. Sorry, well, I cut that out too. I want to, yeah. So it's a whole month of September. You can track your steps, that sort of thing. And because I'm not competitive, I am going to have awards and prizes and stuff for those who participate. All right. Okay, perfect. I can't wait to see all of you on the virtual trot. There's probably other things that are coming up. There will be other things coming up, but these are just the ones that would fit on the sheet, and that I just wanted to bring to your attention because it might require planning ahead for people. Any questions? All right. Yes.
So you may have mentioned this and I may have missed it. Do we have to register for all these events or for some of them, or like say for instance for the parade?
Yes, if you could just email me, just so that I can make sure everybody meets in the same place and for communication purposes. It's not that I'm going to say like, no, you can't come, or there's no like, it's very informal. I just want to make sure that everybody's meeting in the right spot and we're not wandering around aimlessly, sort of thing. So my email is on there if you want to just send me a quick email so that I can do what I just do is like an email chain of the events as I get them. I have a vague map that I can send out of what the route is going to look like. I don't have our exact staging area where we're going to meet, but I can give you a general idea until I have the actual for sure details and stuff. We'll be the ones wearing Santa hats, and there's some Care Bears there. There's going to be some Hulk. There's like a Hulk costume. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of things. You don't have to dress in costume. I'm like, usually at the Santa Claus parade, we stand out great because we're like wearing a lot of green, but St. Patrick's Day, we're going to blend in. Right? So anything to anything to make us, anything, and some pink, anything to, set us apart from all the other green that's there. Usually we own green,
Yeah.
but no, we have to share. So if you don't already follow us on social media, please do so. Facebook and Instagram, and then my email address is there. I'm always available for questions or suggestions. Somebody's like, you know what, I would really like to see the CTA do? Shoot it my way. I'm always looking for new ideas. Okay,
Awesome.
all right. No other questions?
Say thank you to you. So, okay, so I want to say thank you to everyone for coming today. It's great to have you all here, and we really want to thank Kathleen for coming all this way.
Of course, thank you.
A small gift for you to say thank you for coming here and getting us prepared for the games if we are all going, and learn about more of the events that are happening that we all hope to see you at. So
That we will see you at.
and we thank everyone for joining virtually as well. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that's it. Everyone's good? No
Take a
more
moment.
questions? Yeah.
Hold on, Catherine.
Oh, okay.
Guys, my name's Eddie. I'm
Oh.
one of the volunteers. I don't have a
Eddie's a
t-shirt
volunteer,
on.
yeah.
And I've been doing this for a little while, so I want to do something. I want you to thank Shelley and Catherine. Natalie's
Oh,
online.
yeah,
and
Natalie did a
Michelle,
lot.
because they're the ones who put this stuff on, and if without volunteers,
Yeah.
this stuff doesn't happen, as you know very well,
Mhm.
throughout the committee itself. So can we give them a round of applause?
Yeah, we can. And I just, I want to thank Natalie. Wasn't able to make it today because she's not feeling well, but she really got the room for us. We had a bit of a struggle with that. And then we just want to thank her husband as well for coming to, it's Ron, right? Yeah. Set everything up for us. So we really appreciate that. You did that for us. It really helped. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Okay, thank you everyone. Have a great weekend.
Also,
Bye.
everybody can take some of